gracious so pleased you, we will bestow ourselves. Take this book, that show of such an exercise may color your loneliness. We are oft to blame this. 'Tis too much proved that with devotion's visage and pious action we do sugar the devil himself.
Oh, 'tis too true, how smart a lash that speeth to give my conscience the harlot's cheek beautied with plastering art is not more ugly to the thing that helps it than is my deed to my most painted word. Oh, heavy burden!
I am coming, let's withdraw, my lord. Gracious so pleased you, we will bestow ourselves. Take this book, that show of such an exercise may color your loneliness. We are oft to blame this. 'Tis too much proved that with devotion's visage and pious action we do sugar the devil himself.
Oh, 'tis too true, how smart a lash that speeth to give my conscience the harlot's cheek beautied with plastering art is not more ugly to the thing that helps it than is my deed to my most painted word. Oh, heavy burden!
I am coming, let's withdraw, my lord.
To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against the sea of troubles, and by opposing end them, to die, to sleep no more, and by a sleep to say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks. The flesh is air too, 'tis a consummation. The heartache, devoutly to be wished, to die, to sleep perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in the sleep of death, what dreams may come, when we have suffered off this mortal coil, must give us pause. There's a respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would wear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the insolence of office and the spurns, the patient merit of the unworthy takes, when he himself might his quietus make with a bare bodkin? Who would Fidels bear to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country for whose bourne no traveller's return, puzzles the will, and makes us rather bear those ills we have. To fly the others that we know not of, thus conscience does make cowards of us all, and thus the native hue of resolution is sickled over with the pale cast of thought, and enterprises a great pith and moment with the regard their currents turn hoary, and lose the name of action. Soft you now to fair Ophelia, nymph in thy orisons, be all my sins remembered. Good my lord, how does your honor for this many a day?
I humbly thank you.
My lord, I have remembrance of yours, that I have longed to deliver. I pray now you receive them.
No, not I. I never gave you aught.
My honored lord, you know right well you did, and with them words of so sweet breath composed, as made the things more rich, their perfume lost. Take these again, for to the noble mind, rich gifts wax poor, when givers prove unkind. There, my lord.
Are you honest?
My lord?
Are you fair?
What means your lordship?
That if you be honest and fair, your honesty should admit no discourse to your beauty.
Could beauty, my lord, have better commerce than with honesty?
You should have not believed me, for virtue cannot so inoculate our old stock, but we shall relish you. I loved you more.
Oh, help him, you sweet heavens! Love, his affections do not that way tend, nor what he spake, though it lacked form a little, was not like madness. There's something in his soul, o'er with his melancholy sits unbrewed, and I do doubt the hatch and the disclose will be some danger, for which, for to prevent, I have in quick determination thus it set down, he shall with speed to England, for the demand of our neglected tribute, happily the seas and countries different, with variable objects shall expel. This something settled matter in his heart, whereupon his brain still beating puts him thus from fashion to himself. What think you on it?
It shall do well, but yet do I believe the origin and commencement of his grief sprung from neglected love.
Is that?
Gracious, so please you, we will bestow ourselves. Take this book. I can't say that. Gracious, so it shall do well, but yet do I believe the origin and commencement of his grief sprung from neglected love.